Hi, I wanted to have a little chat with you about, Natalie came and joined us. I wanted to have a little chat with you about something we studied on Sunday night in our She Mindfulness course, and it's about the phases of change. This is a little bit of a follow-up to the last video we did on momentum and motivation. So here's the kind of way our brains work when we want to make some changes. First of all, we can stick in the status quo. The status quo is where maybe you're thinking about a change, you're doing some reading, you've heard about some stuff, but there's a lot of procrastinating. Sometimes there's a bit of shaming or should-ing, like, oh man, I really got to eat better. Oh man, I really want to learn how to do that. And we're just kind of wishful thinking at this stage. You can stay there. Nothing wrong with that. Kind of the other end of the spectrum is what I call the overwhelm zone. This is when you decide, okay, that's it. I'm going on that diet, or that's it. I'm going to join that gym, whatever. Sign up for that course, whatever it is, take a new job. And you do this 180-degree pivot and you start doing all the things. And this stage is often characterized by a lot of rules. Sometimes there are restrictions. Sometimes there's even like a punishment sort of system. Think of, those weight loss programs where you have to do a group weigh-in, or you have to, show your menu plan and somebody comments on it. It's almost like a punishment. This overwhelms the nervous system, and it is rarely sustainable in the longer term. So we really want to try to avoid getting ourselves pushed right into the overwhelm zone. Where is the place where you can make change, where you can learn and grow? And that is what I call the fluidity space. When you take the change that you want to make and you break it down into little sequential, digestible steps, there is time to reason things out. The brain is consulted on each step, and the nervous system allowed to adjust to that before you start adding more change in. We can say to ourselves language like, I'm choosing to try to eat. Now, here's an example what you might do. Say the goal is, I want to eat healthier. And you say, okay, well, I got to eat healthier. Well, what would be healthier? Well, more vegetables. Rather than saying, I'm going to go to the grocery store and buy all new vegetables and I'm going to have all these things basically rotting in my fridge by day 3 because I really don't want to do this. Maybe you say to yourself, can I just try one new vegetable this week? So when I do my groceries, I just order that one new vegetable. And I try it a couple different ways just for 1 week and then see how that goes. Can we just try? It just feels friendlier. So when you're in the fluidity zone, this is where change is sustainable and possible, and it's really not that onerous or painful. It can actually be kind of fun and playful. I'm going to try a little something new. As we get those little wins, remember we talked in our last video about motivation and momentum. As we get that one new vegetable, for example, into our diet this week, then we're like, okay, well, that went okay. My nervous system is nice and calm about that now. I might try 2 new vegetables next week. Whoa, look at me go. Next thing you know, you've got momentum and you're making that change. Just be careful that you're not pushing for perfection, because a lot of people can be like that. When you're looking to make changes, at first, when you first try, you might only get the new change about 20% of the time, and that's perfectly normal. It's going to take a period of time, not doing it most of the time, before your nervous system adjusts. So you go from 20% success to 80% of not making my goal right now. And then after a while, you maybe go to 40% success and 60% not making it all the time. And then eventually the pendulum kind of shifts and you're more 60% of the time you're eating those new vegetables, but 40% of the time it's not coming together. And that's okay. This is normal. At the best, really, after this change has been made and becomes a habit, you might only eat new vegetables 80% of the time. And then the other 20%, you kind of go back to, I'm going to go to cheese doodles or whatever. And that's perfectly normal. Perfection is not a healthy goal. It's not what we're shooting for. I hope these little videos are helpful. I plan to shoot a couple more. I will put a link to the motivation and momentum video in the comments so you can find it if you didn't get a chance to see it. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter, check out my website. I'm hoping this information is helpful and kind of gives you something to think about from day to day. We'll talk soon.